Here's a song about the true history behind this holiday we call Thanksgiving. In school we learned the origins of the first Thanksgiving feast, but what your teacher taught you ain't truthful in the least. We were told about the days the natives shared their bread and maize, but the truth is much, much more than your classroom book portrays. Religious persecution ain't the reason pilgrims fled. The Puritans who felt oppressed sailed elsewhere instead. It shouldn't come as a surprise. The pilgrims' goal was to colonize and steal the land they landed on and claim it as a prize. You see, Europe had been taking trips for a century or more, sailing off on conquests, leaving trails of blood and gore. They spread death, they spread disease to bring the native people to their knees. They murdered, robbed, and brutalized as often as they pleased. The Wampanoag and other tribes had suffered at the hands of the colonizers, taking trips to trade and take their lands. When the pilgrim ship came in, Massasoit Assiniboine knew very well the tricky situation that the tribe was in. After lots of thought and delicate deliberation, taking all the tribe's concerns into consideration, a treaty was declared between the Wampanoag and the Europeans in order to protect the pilgrims and the tribe's well-being. Assiniboine agreed to let them have a colony. The pilgrims said they'd keep it small and let the natives be. They'd trade skills and they'd trade goods like any helpful neighbor should, but the pilgrims didn't keep their promise like they said they would. At the feast the pilgrims held to celebrate their new harvest, they didn't even bother to invite the indigenous. The Wampanoag still showed up, though, to let the colonizers know that they were far outnumbered and the tribe was there before. But soon enough, the pilgrims proved they'd disregard their vow. Even though they said they'd keep it small, more showed up anyhow. The pilgrims' population grew and a brutal, vicious war ensued, and even with slim odds, the native people fought through and through. Assiniboine's descendants were killed off or sold as slaves, but despite all the brutality, the tribe survived today. All across this great big land, the native peoples proudly stand in defiance of the cultural erasure plan. The story in this song is only one of many tales of how indigenous people were killed or thrown in jails. Centuries of genocide can't kill the many native tribes, and all the horrors we tried to hide cannot be pushed aside.